This is the Fanbased Network. Top 10 comic adaptations we'd like to see as movies. You're listening to the Sidekick. Hello, everyone.
Groovy.
Hey.
Welcome to the Sidekick. I'm Justin P. Train Peterson.
LT Jizzle.
Yeah.
It's LTG.
I'm Justin Lane.
It's Justin Lizane.
Welcome, everyone. This week we're going to be discussing comic book movie adaptations that we'd like to see.
Yeah, the three.
Ideally. And they could be wholly original adaptations, meaning, you haven't seen them done as movies before. They could also be movies that didn't quite hit the mark the first time, and we'd like to see them take another crack at it. So, yeah.
So I have our list, guys, from what we compiled, and I'm going to read them down, starting with numero 10. That's number 10. Numero Dix. Here we go. Number 10. Are you all right there, Gergie?
Who?
Gergie. Okay, so number 10 on our list. Here it is. Green Lantern. DC Comics Distinguished Competitions. Green Lantern.
Which they did make a movie out of, a hilariously
But they didn't quite hit the mark.
inept attempt. No, they did. They definitely missed the mark. It was a little wide.
I thought it was
a lot. It was a lot wide.
I thought it was great.
They
sure
did. Yeah, they tried to set themselves up with a cliffhanger there at the end too. The Sinestro Corps.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Was it Tom Strong?
Mark Strong.
Tom Strong.
Who's the villain?
That's a comic book character.
Mark Strong's the villain in pretty much everything nowadays.
Yeah, he was in one of the Iron Man, Sherlock Holmes movies.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, he was
Iron
also
Holmes.
in Kick-Ass as the villain in the first one.
Yeah.
So number 9.
Well, let's
talk about it here
for a second.
Jeez, bro.
So let's see. We got the movie.
I thought we were gonna go.
Oh yeah.
No. Let's just talk about it a little bit. So obviously the movie starred Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
As Hal Jordan.
Woefully miscast.
You know who he went up against?
Who did he go up against?
Your favorite, Bradley Cooper.
Did he really? Oh, Rocket.
I mean, also kind of a miscast.
Miscast,
but yeah.
But the fact that he lost and then it was
A bit
terrible
closer.
as it was.
Yeah.
The thing is,
good for him. Good for him.
I do think it should be Hal Jordan. Failing Hal Jordan, then Jon Stewart. None of us wants to see a
Guy Gardner.
a Guy Gardner or a Kyle Rayner.
No.
So maybe Gloria Gaynor of I Will Survive fame, but she was a member of the Lantern Corps, and a lot of people don't remember that. But I do think it should be either the classic, not Alan Scott, who is the original.
Yeah, well, his power was based on magic.
Magic, and his vulnerability was wood,
which is probably the worst thing to be vulnerable
that's
to.
pretty bad. So I think
you can get beaten by a baseball bat.
How do you feel? You think Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart?
Hal Jordan to start with.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that would make me want to maybe go with Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart in it.
Well, the thing,
I wouldn't be against any of those.
Here's the thing: there's such an outcry right now for people of color in comic book movies.
Diversity, yeah.
So making Jon Stewart sort of the Tonto to his Lone Ranger is a little off.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, and I love Hal Jordan. That's my favorite version of Green Lantern. But
he's Chuck Yeager as a superhero.
Jon Stewart's use of his powers is a little cooler. There's less green boxing gloves. There's
Kyle Rayner's use of his powers is probably
but he's Kyle Rayner, and we don't want to go there. So I think it's one of those two. I think it has to be villain-wise. It has to be Sinestro.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were trying to do, because you want to kind of set up Sinestro and the fact that he was, one of the best Green Lanterns there was for his fall to make sense. But, that movie was so flawed in so many other respects that the fact that Mark Strong playing Sinestro is actually serviceable, had no effect on the movie whatsoever.
You guys casting, if it was, for instance, Hal Jordan versus Jon Stewart?
Well, there's room there. They wanted Common to play.
Oh, please no.
Yeah, but if you look at him,
well, if you look at him, yes. I don't know.
Well, for director, I would say Gareth Edwards would be my choice for the director. He's doing space stuff now, so he directed Godzilla. He's doing one of the Star Wars movies. So, if anyone has any opinions on casting for Green Lantern,
Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart,
let us know, or Sinestro, or what's the name of the female Ferris?
Carol Ferris.
Carol Ferris. So yeah, please.
Ferris Air.
Any casting suggestions and
which I think Ferris Air has popped up on.
Yes, it has
on Arrow and The Flash already on the TV show.
All right, so next,
the Star Sapphire.
Yeah, that is Star Sapphire.
Here is
one of the Star Sapphires.
Here is a very difficult movie to make, but it did make our list. Lobo. Mm-hmm. Once again, a DC property.
More
Lobo,
of a adult-oriented.
Have to be R-rated.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. Has to be an R-rated movie.
Or don't do it.
Yeah. Ultra-violent character.
It's also weirdly comedic though too. Mm-hmm. It's remember the whole
it's
arc,
Keith Giffen.
Yeah, the whole arc where he fought Santa Claus.
Oh, that was brilliant. Santa Claus, you naughty bastard. Yeah, I mean that was fantastic.
Yeah,
but it has to be.
And I like. Yeah,
it has to be done violently.
Yeah.
and with tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and language, explicit content.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I like this is on the list is because Lobo hasn't had a proper adaptation yet.
No.
Outside of the realm of animation, which he pops up every once in a while in like Superman cartoons and the Justice League cartoons. But other than that, he's a character that he's pretty popular and he's never gotten his due, so to say. They're creaking? There's an odd creaking.
Someone's creeping up on the door.
That's my watch scraping against the desk.
Yeah. Okay.
So Lobo, I think you get Keith Giffen involved. You do it right.
Yeah.
And Roger Slifer is the other creator. But Keith Giffen is the guy I think of when I think of Lobo. So
Giffen also, didn't he create Booster Gold?
He might have actually, yeah. Keith Giffen did.
He ran the
he
Justice
Ambush
League.
Bug?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It sounds like he did.
Yeah.
He did the Justice League run where it was like Batman and all the other weirdos. Remember that?
Yeah.
From the 80s. I think it was formerly known as the Justice League.
Right. Yeah. He's pretty brilliant. He's one of the more respected comic book creators, and I think it would be cool to bring his work along. And but now casting for Lobo. That's tough.
That's
now
we've
seen that they did
Patrick Warburton.
Batista as Drax.
Drax.
Somebody
kind of a
like
similar
that.
character.
Somebody like that could be used as Lobo.
Yeah.
Maybe LTG's favorite athlete, Brock Lesnar, would be the way to go.
Why is he my favorite athlete?
Because you don't like Kurt Angle. You like because
I love Kurt Angle.
I'm joking. I know.
This is real American.
But the other option with Lobo is there's a character that you might want to do the Ruffalo Hulk thing. You might want to actually CGI him.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I think of him the way Simon Bisley drew him, which is just ridiculously
massive
jacked.
cut.
Like a young Razor Ramon.
And very
exactly.
punk. There's a big punk element to him as well.
Yeah.
With like the kind of gothy makeup and
he's a counterculture character. So please,
screw you attitude.
Your opinions on Lobo, which by the way, in case you're wondering, it's Lobo, not Los Lobos. Though a space opera Los Lobos movie would be amazing. Next, number 8. No, you guys don't agree?
No.
It
would be a concert
number
video?
8.
Just in space.
Where they fight
for
Santa.
Some reason.
It could be like Silverhawks. Okay, so number 8, The Authority.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, well, I believe this was you championed this one.
Yeah.
You were a champion.
So, The Authority. What do you guys feel?
Yeah, The Authority, for those who aren't familiar, folded out of Stormwatch comics.
Sure did.
So it was basically, all the the major characters from that universe, and I mean, kind of derivative at times, but not really, because a lot of their characters were just very innovative.
Mm-hmm.
Like was it Hawksmoor?
Yep.
And
Prince of Cities.
The Prince of Cities.
Yeah,
and
very
then,
cool. We are, by the way, referring to, I know we brought up Brock Lesnar. We're referring to the comic book The Authority, not the WWE stable of villains, The Authority, which is completely different.
A different group of guys.
I believe they were defeated by Team Cena most recently, John Cena. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
And they also had Apollo and the Midnighter, who were also a homosexual couple.
Yes.
Which was very...
With their adopted daughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were
that, once again, now the comic book, not...
comic book.
Right.
Loosely based also on Apollo and Midnighter are kind of pastiches of Batman and
Superman and Batman, yeah. Very, very good stuff.
Very clever.
It's created by Warren Ellis, and I believe the art, Brian Hitch.
Yep. This is great. He did a lot of the work on the Ultimates as well.
Yep. So, very cool stuff. And, you know, the thing about the... they get that dark character. The Doctor's a very dark character.
Yep.
The thing that's cool
and
about...
the bleed, all the stuff with the bleed, which I like, because
very,
it's all
very
multi-dimensional aspect.
The thing about The Authority is it lends itself... it's the first one on our list that really lends itself to spin-off movies. Midnighter is a very popular character.
Yeah.
And also, I think Hawksmoor, Jack Hawksmoor, would be a really cool character if he was in another movie first to do a spin-off movie. Yeah. With his weird
I was always
tire tread feet.
I was a big fan of that character.
Yeah. Well, he's the leader of The Authority.
Yeah.
So, The Authority, casting, we don't want to get into it now because there's so many characters on it. There's Jenny Sparks, Apollo,
the girl of the century. Or
Spirit of the 20th century.
Spirit of the 20th century.
But you know, really, this is a really rich one for people to comment on and see who they want to see cast as the different characters. Mm-hmm. The only kind of no-brainer casting is for the Doctor, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but you're looking for what was the name of the guy who did Max Headroom? You're looking for that kind of actor.
Frewer.
Yeah, you're looking for a Matt Frewer type for that. Yeah. So why are you you don't agree with Matt Frewer?
He misses all his whatever.
Oh, trivia. Well, that's on the OFTF, the Stump the Bee Train.
But that's where my trivia lies.
Now there's a second Doctor, and you know that's he was Arab, I believe.
Yeah.
So please comment. But The Authority would be really, really cool. They basically correct everything in the galaxy.
Yeah,
pretty badass.
And the device of the bleed allows them to even kind of melt into more popular universes if they want to. Like, I believe those characters are now a part of the DC mainline.
I think they are, or they were, and maybe will be again. Okay, so now you mentioned DC mainline. What about for our number 7, something that's not DC mainline but is DC? And it's odd, you know, considering that we're all Marvel guys. Mm-hmm. This has been a DC dominant list so far.
Yeah, strange.
But because
maybe it's because they really haven't done as good of a job.
Yeah, it could be. Number 7, Kingdom Come.
That's ambitious. That's an ambitious one.
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
LTG, your opinions on Kingdom Come as a movie?
Well, in the vein of Justice League, which they're going to attempt, and Avengers,
the Rise of Justice, or whatever.
Yeah, it's would be epic in that scope. Probably my favorite DC story.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Though I did like Dark Knight Returns. I know you don't like that.
I'm not a big fan though.
Who likes that?
That's what we're gonna get. That's what we're gonna get comments on. What do you mean you're not a fan of Dark Knight?
What do you mean? It's one of those holy grail titles.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why, of course, I've got to be like, no. Well, there's issues with it. I have major issues with it. But
Kingdom Come was great, and for me, learning about how it was created was cool. Learning about the guy who wrote it and went to his friend's house.
Mark Waid wrote it.
Yeah.
To learn from his friend's son. He went to his friend's son to get help, kind of envisioning the world, and he got a lot of his ideas from listening to this kid talk about
Scope.
what he would want.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he kept meeting with him every week.
For those
kind
who
of, like,
again
develop the world together.
aren't familiar with that title, Kingdom Come is a future-based storyline that takes place within the DC universe.
An Elsewhen story.
Yeah, what they used to call the
Mm-hmm.
the elsewhere titles.
A lot of the heroes are all like either retired or
Yeah.
except for Superman. He's retired.
It was also one of the first stories that integrated the son of the demon, who went on to become Damian Wayne, the current Robin. He was a character, I forget what his name was. It was something very Arabic sounding in Kingdom Come.
I remember now. Yeah.
But he was a member of like the
Azrael
Superman's council or something.
The coolest thing, first of all, if you haven't read the comic book, it's Alex Ross painted. It's a painted,
Alex Ross is amazing.
It's a painted comic book. Highly recommend you check it out.
The amount of detail and effort that Alex Ross puts into everything he does is it's fantastic. The guy is one of the greatest comic book artists that's out there.
Very, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. And the casting would probably be informed if DC ever got their act together by their casting of Justice League.
Yeah.
So it really interesting, really cool, really cool stuff.
You do need a lot of backstory to already be established in order to get the ability to do Kingdom Come. So, yeah.
By the way, it's Ibn Zufash, son of Batman and Talia al Ghul, is the character's name. Had to look it up.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I knew it was something incredibly hard to pronounce.
And, of course, very, very cool stuff, but that we'll move on from there. Kingdom Come, an ambitious project. The casting that is, in my opinion, most key is Billy Batson. If you cast Captain Marvel correctly, you've got that down. Shazam to those of you who don't know. Okay, number 6. Are you guys ready for this?
No.
Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
X Factor.
Oh, which one?
Now, that's the thing.
one?
It occupies number 6 on our list, but it really occupies 6 and 6.5 because I
There are
personally
two
would like
versions
to
I would
see...
like to say.
Same here. I would like to see the... let's talk about the Jamie Madrox version first.
Yes.
Okay?
Which is probably my favorite.
Yeah, Madrox X Factor Investigations. Peter David created that version
And
of it.
when I read that book when it was coming out monthly, I was struck by how much it felt like a movie or a TV series when you were reading it.
It's
it just
incredible.
felt cinematic.
Yeah.
His grasp of those characters is, I mean, it just reads so well. It's probably a better grasp of characters than I've read in any mainline comic book in years.
In my opinion, it is the best thing that Marvel has published in the past 10 years.
Yeah, I would agree.
It is absolutely phenomenal. The Madrox character is on the surface such a prick, but is such a complicated character.
Yeah. And he can make you laugh. He can break your heart.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Now, I want people to go back and read these books, so I don't want to, to
spoil.
I don't want to spoil anything. There is a plot in those books involving the Madrox son that I'm not going to say anything about.
Oh, it's amazing.
Please go back. Don't Wikipedia the damn thing.
No.
Go back and
Just
read the books and then figure out who you want to play those characters. And this is the kind of thing I'd like to see Gunn direct, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy.
He would be a great fit.
Be a perfect fit for this because he gets the tongue-in-cheek element of things so well. The Madrox casting is absolutely crucial.
Imperative.
Yeah. And the toughest casting, in my opinion, Guido Carosello.
Yeah, I was going to say strong guy. Yeah,
That once again, you may have to go wrestler, or you may have to go CGI. The problem with CGI is you're talking about a character who's
not really he's a person. He's a heart.
He's a person,
and he's kind of the heart of the team.
But his physique is impossible.
It's the thing paradox.
Yeah, exactly. So Guido Carosello, really important casting. I believe that would be LTG would probably want to go for one of his other favorite wrestlers. No,
It'd be you couldn't do it. It's just.
You know who I was talking about?
There's no one that would look that freakish.
Right. Well, they'd have to augment him.
Yeah.
They would have to do something for it.
Because even when he's normal, he's just
he's
proportions
just
are absurd.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but
And he looks strange too. He just does all.
well,
his-
he's mutated because of and his backstory.
He's got that weird kind of like
well, you know what he
buff Cupid doll.
You know what he was designed to look like?
Hmm.
A mutated Charlie Brown.
Oh, strange.
So because the one thing,
the curl.
Were you gonna say Big Van Vader?
No, I was gonna say one of
Puff,
Skinny
puff.
body.
I was gonna say any one of
Close.
your favorite wrestlers except for Kurt Angle.
Big Papa Pump.
Big Papa Pump. Yeah, that.
So now let's talk about the other version.
He's close. He's the closest.
The other version of X Factor would, of course, be the post Charles Xavier original
five.
team of X-Men, which is Cyclops, Jean Grey, Warren Worthington, the High Flying Angel, Bobby Drake Iceman, and
Hank McCoy.
Hank McCoy,
The Beast.
the Beast. So,
And the one of
my
the
stars and
original
garters.
first arcs of but one of the early X Factor stories was the story of how Warren Worthington becomes Archangel.
Right.
Gets corrupted by
yeah,
Apocalypse.
and it has to be Apocalypse has to be the villain.
yeah.
And then you have to bring in the
Sinister's in it too,
Cameron.
isn't he?
You have to bring in the Cameron Hodge
yeah.
thing as well. Sinister is very important.
But Sinister was also more of a uncanny X-Men villain than he was an
Well, I
X-Men
mean,
villain.
for that storyline, wasn't he a part of that?
Sinister was Inferno and
Yeah,
all that
not
stuff.
really.
Yeah, no,
It was more base Apocalypse.
yeah.
Back at
Apocalypse was the
Right,
villain.
that created him.
I'm
thinking when they killed him or when they tried to kill him.
So
Yeah.
instead of continuing talking about X Factor, let's go to number 5 on our list, and that will combine with the X Factor combination. Because to do that movie first, you have to do number 5 on
original
our list,
X-Men movie.
the real X-Men.
Yes.
Okay. The Stan Lee, Jack Kirby X-Men, same characters
With Charles.
No,
The original 5.
no Wolverine.
Oh.
I know that's hard for the studios to swallow. No,
Because
Wolverine.
they want that sweet Wolverine money.
Yeah, they do. But you know what? Let's get some sweet Bobby Drake Iceman money.
Yeah, let's have him doing more than just chilling beverages.
Yeah, let's have him do. I think it would be cool. You introduce those characters. You move it over into an X Factor movie, and then you do Giant Size X-Men #1 later.
Yeah.
With Wolverine
Which
and Nightcrawler.
ideally is what they probably should have done from the
look,
start, but they never would have. They never could.
I want to see the original X-Men.
Yeah.
I want to see their first run-in with Magneto. I
Yeah.
want to see
Danger
that.
Room, everything.
Yeah. I want to see Charles Xavier find these tortured kids. The thing is, everyone talks about the dark superhero, and that's how that's become a thing. A lot of people don't realize. You know who the first dark tortured superhero was? It was Cyclops.
Yeah.
He couldn't take off his visor. He couldn't
look
at stuff
at the people he
without
loved.
a red
Yeah.
tint.
Yeah.
Cyclops is the original tortured. He's the original emo superhero.
Yeah. Well, they still use
but don't make him emo.
Yeah, they still use that in his character to this day too. To justify his turn to being evil recently.
Yeah,
when he was
which is
whatever.
weird.
Yeah,
but the thing is, let's do it right. That's what I want to see because and then it gives birth to the X Factor stuff and everything
true.
else. So that's number
So
5 on our list.
5 and 6 kind of like
that
coincide.
casting crucial, and you know what? I don't want to see McCoy turn into a fuzzy furball.
No,
I want him to be the original Beast.
with just the big hands.
Yeah,
and
of
feet.
course.
Yeah. And then in the X Factor movie, he would turn.
Yeah.
So anyway, now here's a really exciting one. Number 4 on our list.
You know who could play Cyclops?
Who?
Grant Gustin.
Why is he always your go-to
He's
guy?
the everybody.
He's slim enough. He is
He
slim
is
enough.
slim.
He's
He's
slim.
slim.
I thought you wanted Topher Grace.
Oh, he's good. He's
So
he's
good.
Venom in my mind.
Yeah. Oh well, of course.
It wasn't his fault.
I know.
That was just bad casting.
He actually would not be a bad Cyclops. Anyway, so what about Jonathan Rhys Myers? Now that he doesn't have to play Robin. And now here we go. Grant Gustin's more of an Iceman.
Grant Gustin's every character
You
possible.
could do that too.
Yeah. Number 4 on our list. This is exciting, everybody. Runaways.
I'm a huge fan of that idea.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
LPG, you haven't said much. Let's hear from you.
Sure.
Okay, thanks. That was there's his endorsement.
I'm not the biggest Runaways fan. I just think it would be.
You had it on your list.
I know because I think it would make an interesting movie, and I'd go
Okay.
see it.
Yeah. Runaways was a title that Joss Whedon created in the Marvel Comics mainline universe several years ago. was about a team of adolescent.
I got to correct you because you
it's Brian Vaughn.
Yes, Brian K. Vaughn. Sorry.
Whedon came in afterwards.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it was about an adolescent team of runaways who were progeny of supervillains that had previously not been created in the Marvel Universe, basically. And so they were trying to get out of the shadow of their evil parents and do their own thing. They came together and created a team of superheroes. And the best part of the story is that all of the characters, being from the main characters to their parents, are characters that are original and didn't have a lot of know, continuity that bogged them down. So the storytelling was fresh. The characters were just, vibrant and very easily accessible for new readers.
And it's something as a change from all the classic stuff.
Yeah.
Of, Captain America and Iron Man, Hulk.
But they still existed in that same universe.
Right.
So all the other Marvel superheroes and supervillains would pop in to the Runaway stories. Mm-hmm. But the fact that those characters were largely original creations are, to me, the kind of best part of those books.
Yeah.
And I think it's why that would be an amazing idea to adapt.
Yeah, it would be very, very cool. Now, the only thing is now, and nobody really talks about this, but I always felt like Runaways was very influenced by, do you remember Fallen Angels?
No. Oh, I do remember
Madrox,
Fallen Angels. Yeah.
And all those characters, and Devil Dinosaur and Moon Boy.
Yeah.
Runaways was very much like Fallen Angels. I feel like it was sort of, it never really got mentioned, but I always felt like Vaughn kind of like was a Fallen Angels fan and wanted to do something like that. Yeah. So, failing Runaways, let's do a Fallen Angels thing.
And it's not, like I said,
the robot lobsters.
It's just something different, but it's still Marvel. It's still connected.
Yeah. So, very, very cool. Runaways.
That's another one that I could also see working really well as a TV show.
Yeah.
Which a lot of the honorable mentions we'll be mentioning later, a lot of those actually didn't make the list proper because they probably work better
as TV shows. Yes. Runaways, there you go. Let's hear your casting notes.
I'm sorry, apologies to Brian Vaughn, who's one of my favorite writers.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. The truth is Brian Vaughn handpicked Whedon to write. Yeah, so, I mean...
And they switched off on, didn't Brian Vaughn come in and do Astonishing X-Men?
He may have. He may have.
And they basically just flipped books with each other?
Possibly. I have to look that up. But very cool stuff. Now, here we go. Number 3 on our list. Now, here's one of those ones going back to what we said. Now, X-Men obviously was something that we felt wasn't done right. And Green Lantern. But here we go. Number 3. Marvel's Fantastic Four.
Oh, finally.
Preferably the Galactus arc.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which would also include Silver Surfer.
Yes. Sure.
And
the Ultimate Nullifier.
Yes. Okay, let's talk for a moment here. The Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, we won't even talk about the first one. Okay, but the Rise of the Silver Surfer was, in my opinion, the absolute definition of what's wrong with bad comic book adaptations.
I would agree.
It's worse than the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. Okay?
How do you like that?
Why, God? Why must I punish?
Well, the Dolph Lundgren Punisher is almost not even
recognizable.
Anything like the Punisher. Yeah,
it's like the other Avengers. With,
when you guys notice that when we're talking about the stuff in the shows and in the movies, I go, oh my God, are they really going to go for it?
Yeah.
That was the definition of just not going for it. They were willing to go for the chrome CGI Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
but they didn't go for Galactus.
They made him a
Silver Surfer.
Made him a gas cloud.
Silver Surfer is visually far sillier than Galactus. Mm. What the hell is wrong with these people? They can't say it was too expensive.
No, and
because it's CGI. Yeah, unless you get John Cena.
The fact
to play
that he
Galactus.
wasn't even
he's just
that
he
big. Wasn't even a presence. That Galactus was made into a galactic gas cloud.
Yeah,
made him so less imposing.
Yeah,
as a character, which is the thing about Galactus in the comic books. He's super imposing because he's a gigantic
Humanoid.
wearing a funny
They made
purple.
they made him a cosmic fart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, horrible, awful Knaawful, evil Knievel.
Completely took
And
away
you
anything that
you
is
ruin
scary
any
about it.
chance of maybe even getting a glimpse of his world ship.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah. Look, you take away the fact that Galactus is also tortured.
Yes.
He doesn't
wanna
like
do what he's
wiping out
doing.
planets.
I don't know.
He just needs sustenance.
He's hungry. He's got the hunger.
He does have the hunger.
Once you
he's
pop,
been
you
doing
can't
this.
stop.
He's been doing this for so long.
Anyway, so Fantastic Four casting has to happen now. Here's the issue that I think you might have with it is there's no Doom in the version we're talking about.
I can't have that.
Can't have Doom, or you can you have Doom?
Of course, you have to.
I think what you do is you got to take a little bit of liberty with the storyline.
Look, there's no Doom in the versions we have already.
You have. That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there really isn't. If you look at how they made them.
Yeah. So maybe you put Doom as a background character who is manipulating for power.
I would say maybe the most baller way to deal with it is to stinger Doom.
Yeah.
To make Doom be the stinger.
Well, that's the cool thing is if you bring in Galactus, then Doom can come in.
Yeah.
And then they could join forces.
It would be Doom trying to steal Galactus's power.
Which is exactly what he did in Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
But he would realize the benefit of coming
I think you
together.
stinger Doom.
Yeah.
Or Reed has to go to Doom for help.
You can make him feel like you can have the news mention Latveria.
Yeah.
And like a newly elected
has to be
stuff like that.
an
And
he
then
has
at
to
the
be in
very
it, but he
end,
can't be
but
the
he
main
can't be the main villain.
No,
and
later.
Yeah.
So this is how you would kick off Fantastic Four is with Galactus.
Yeah, but how you start the movie is...
I would start the movie with Mole Man.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Fighting the mole creature on the news.
Well, that's how it should start.
Yeah, exactly. As an homage to Fantastic Four number one.
Not an origin story.
No.
They already
blast
exist.
right into it.
Yep.
Do it like a
crowd-
news recap.
Yeah.
Crowds,
Yeah.
people, helicopters,
that would be
helicopters,
amazing.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then
so
go into
look
Galactus,
how excited we just
and
got.
Then go into that would be the best
Yeah.
Fantastic Four movie
Yeah.
ever.
Oh,
Why can't that movie just
And a
exist?
really good rubber suit for Ben Grimm. Are we in agreement? Yeah, no.
Definitely, probably CGI.
The commish. So anyway,
It sucks because he's
the-
acting his ass off under that
Chickless,
suit.
Chickless is great.
Yeah.
But I just think it's funny that he's the Shield,
Yeah.
the commish,
the
the
thing.
thing. Anyway, the Belushi, because he played John Belushi in a biopic.
he
Anyway.
did, yeah.
So anyway, so we like Fantastic Four casting,
I've
casting.
always
Grant Gustin.
been- Grant Gustin is Reed Richards. Yeah.
Or Human Torch.
I think you go with Reed being about 35 years old. I don't think you go with some kid. I think you go with somebody who
I don't
actually
like the ultimate.
maybe 30
Justification
years
of
old,
him.
but but no younger. None of this nonsense. Enough with the nonsense, with the kids and the stuff.
See, we got a problem here.
Oh boy.
Because
Oh, boy.
there's a lot you can do. If you if you go 30, we're leaving out Namor and that whole thing.
Why?
What are you talking about? Why are we leaving out Namor?
Why?
Well, because that's also a big element.
But why would him being 30?
Because he wasn't 30 when he took on.
But that doesn't matter. That has no bearing on the story.
Yes, it does.
Whatsoever. No, now he's 30 when it happens.
But
done.
why?
Problem solved.
Why? But
Why? Because
missing all kinds of
no,
history.
no. What's important is the story, not what actually happened in the comic.
Yeah, so it doesn't need to be 30 to make the story.
No, it doesn't. That's what. No.
I'm saying for casting for gravitas, a kid.
Don't want him to be
because
Doesn't have to be
we're
a kid.
saying that they're already established when they're
Yes.
fighting Mole Man.
Yes.
So they've already learned how to master their
They've done it
powers
for
and
a
everything
while.
else. I think that's cool. Johnny's already a pompous
Yeah,
hotshot.
and again, it would highlight if you make Johnny younger, which he was
Yes.
when the comic started.
Yes.
that would highlight the age difference.
Exactly.
It would, yeah.
Exactly. So we like that casting. We want to hear people's opinions. Definitely on that.
That's probably the movie I most want to see.
Miles Teller.
Done right.
You know
not Miles Teller.
You know what's funny? Miles
Please,
Teller.
not
You know
Miles
who
Teller.
Miles Teller would be great as though?
Johnny
Doom.
Storm or Doom. Yeah,
Yeah,
he would.
he would be a great
He would
Doom.
be a much better Doom.
So let's move on because here we
But
go.
no.
Here we go with.
No.
Here we
No.
go with a B. Yeah, he'd be fantastic. Oh, he'd be so good.
God.
I want just keep Miles Teller away.
My choice.
Julian McMahon.
My choice.
Julian McMahon.
Hey, look, he's
Cole.
great and charmed.
He is.
Balthazar.
But that's it.
That's it. The only thing.
My choice for Doom is he's no longer with us. Once again, a wrestler, Eddie Guerrero. May he rest in peace. Because if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Okay, so yes, number 2 on our list, Mark Spector, Moon Knight.
Wow, he got way up there.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, well, we all liked it, and
Yeah.
so he's high on the list. And number
Another
one.
reason why I think is because again, he never, and more so than Lobo even too, never seen an adaptation of Moon Knight.
Nope.
And he's one of those comic characters that has just no one's ever touched him yet.
I think here's the question: do you do the Moon Knight movie as a wink and a nod to Batman, or do you do it as its own thing?
No, its own thing.
Its own thing. Okay.
I think the wink and the nod will
happen by itself.
Yeah.
Mark Spector is a dark character. He is messed up in the head.
Schizophrenic.
Yeah. Just the Moon Knight character. Now, a lot of people listening may not know who Moon Knight is. He is, of course, Marvel's Batman. Let's just call him what he is.
Or kind of Blue Beetle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good point. So he is a street level hero with some supernatural ability. His strength in different versions has waned with the waxing and waning of the moon. But a very cool character.
He's powered by an Egyptian
Khonshu.
god.
Yeah, he's the fist of Khonshu.
Yeah.
So he throws silver croissants.
Crescent moons.
Yeah.
Silver croissants.
Tasty.
And he flies a crescent moon shaped,
which is cool looking
plane too, which is awesome. It looks great.
So a Moon Knight movie would be cool. Now we think that Moon Knight will probably, if anything, I could see Moon Knight happening in the Netflix era, but I don't think that will happen.
It could.
No,
possibly.
and
he and Daredevil are close.
But I tell you why, because he flies a crescent-shaped thing.
Yeah, I think it's a little
Moon
too...
Knight's expensive.
Yeah, it's a little too,
Moon Knight would be an amazing movie. I think it would tank at the box office.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that we don't want to see it.
No, I want to see it.
Right, yeah. No. So Mark Spector, Moon Knight would be dope. Which brings us to number 1. And Mark Spector, the casting, not that important. You just need a good actor.
Well, I was thinking Patrick Wilson, too.
Sure.
Because he played Night Owl in The Watchmen, too, which is another very similar character.
What about Patrick Duffy?
Well,
a little too old.
No,
Anyway, do you know who Patrick Duffy is?
Yes.
Okay. So
Step by Step,
and Dallas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And also, I believe, was the leg of Scuzzlebutt on the first season of South Park. He was one
really?
of the legs of Scuzzlebutt. So, number 1 on our list, and this would absolutely kill at the box office if it was done right, and it's been done several times. No Punisher intended.
Yep.
That's right. It's Marvel's The Punisher, Frank Castle.
And specifically an adaptation of the Garth Ennis run.
Yes, the Garth Ennis run, absolutely.
Which for people who come to me and say they can't get into Punisher, I refer them to that run to get what my opinion is the Punisher.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it's a very recent incarnation.
Yeah. But the heart of the Punisher was, it was a little funnier than a lot of the Punisher stories were in the old days.
Yeah.
But
in a very dark way.
But yeah, some of it was the one story, Never Fall Down.
There was some good humor.
In New York.
Yeah.
Some
very adult humor.
The villain, what was his name, like Fuckface or something like that? Remember that guy?
Well, you know what it is Garth Ennis and here's my one issue with my one issue with Garth Ennis is he repeats himself a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I do like the Garth Ennis run on Punisher, but I'm also going to say that if you have you read Preacher?
Yeah, of course.
Some.
Everything that you read post Preacher is Preacher.
Is Preacher just
his Nick Fury thing that I love that he did for the Max line?
Yeah.
It's just he even references
himself.
Preacher. It gets a little bit annoying, but I do love Garth Ennis, and Preacher's one of my favorite things of all time. And if you're gonna do Punisher, that is the version.
Why didn't we mention Preacher too? I guess they are making it.
Preacher is in the works. So. Yeah,
Let's see on that.
Now casting for Punisher, we should talk about this for a moment.
Wow.
Come on. What do you guys think?
Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane was the best one
He was
so
the best
far.
one so far. Yeah, no lie. I don't. Yeah. I suck at casting. You'd think I'd be better at this.
I
'cause
do. I know.
yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Grant Gustin?
Grant Gustin.
Finally something he can't do.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
he
he
couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
He does everything.
Punisher Jr.
He's the everyman.
Yeah, no. I mean, seriously, what do you think?
Do you want him? You want him to be kind of a little older
Oh, yeah.
because
He was a cop. He was a veteran cop.
and
Yeah.
a war veteran too.
Oh,
Which
definitely.
you could do. Either
Yeah, he was a cop
Iraq
and in
or
war.
Afghanistan now.
You know, there's no reason that you have to make it current day.
No,
you
no.
could make a Punisher movie and you could do it,
Do it in
where
the
he is a
70s.
Vietnam vet.
Could do an origin style. Yeah.
But I guess you'd probably make him a Gulf War vet now
Yeah, you'd
and
make
stuff
him
like
Gulf
that,
War
or special ops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
something like that.
something we don't know about.
But still, yeah, so many options. I don't know. Casting wise, I'm at a loss. I'm trying to think of like grizzled badass guys.
Well, look how they draw him on the Ennis cover. Who does that remind you of?
Is he? Well, I know.
Is everything okay?
I'm thinking about casting.
Oh,
I'm thinking out loud.
I'm in charge of the body count.
what's going on?
And you know who's coming to me?
What the hell?
Dolph Lundgren.
Frank is dead.
Frank is dead.
Tall Flynn.
Frank is dead. Why, God? Why must I punish?
Yeah.
There's a guy on Person of Interest who looks like the common depiction of him.
Yeah, he does actually.
Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart, yeah.
You could do.
Jim Caviezel.
You could. He's a little wiry
Yeah.
for me. Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin.
The guy you said is actually pretty
yeah.
good. He kind
Guys,
of plays that dark.
Here's my
character.
issue.
yeah. You mean
Can we have-
Elias's henchman? Is that who
Can
you're
we
thinking of?
have Frank
No,
Castle?
on Person of Interest.
Jim Caviezel is the main character. On
He
Person of
is? That's Jim
Interest.
Caviezel?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Can we have?
Huh.
Yeah.
Can we
He looks-
have?
Doesn't look like
and
him
by
at
the
all.
way,
He's
Person
a-
of Interest is a great show. You should watch it
He's another
if you are,
chameleon
because
actor.
it's just Batman thinly veiled in different.
It's just he's
characters.
always Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
But-
and the guy from Lost, Michael Emerson, plays Oracle.
Mm.
He's a crippled.
Guys,
computer
can we have the
genius.
Punisher actually be Italian?
Yeah,
Can we
that's what I
actually
was
do
thinking.
that?
There's a guy.
His name, Frank Castle, is short for Castiglione.
Castiglione.
Yeah. How about LTG as
Yeah.
the Punisher?
Okay.
Or resident Italian?
Yeah, a resident
That may just
Italian.
get bulked up.
Yeah.
So there it is, the Punisher. Who's going to play Microchip?
Microchip, who's been name dropped on Agents of Shield.
I know
as
that.
well.
Yeah.
P-Train.
P-Train is. There you go. There it
I
is,
can
right there.
play.
There you go. There you go. I'm
Woo!
sitting across.
Are you listening, Marvel executives?
I'm sitting across from the
Probably
Punisher and
not.
Microchip. Well, guys, that's our list.
Maybe we'll do a fan
Honorable
version and put it on
mentions.
Fanbased.
Honorable mentions. Ghost Rider. Now, LTG did not want to do Ghost Rider because he loves the Nick Cage
That's
version.
not true, but okay.
Loves him.
Eh,
Absolutely loves him.
not true.
Honorable mention I have is Global Frequency,
Okay.
which actually was developed as a pilot for the WB several, 10 years ago now at this point. But again, it's a show. It would work better as a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And of course, any other honorable mentions there for you? Blue Devil is mine.
Savage Dragon.
Savage Dragon. Both could be done very tongue in cheek.
Spawn. Yeah.
Spawn.
All those three too
Yeah.
seem like they
Though I
would work as TV
Do you
shows.
think they have a Spawn coming?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure
there is
they
another-
do.
There's another adaptation. yeah.
Sure. McFarlane needs to buy more expensive baseballs. So anyway, if anyone doesn't know what that means, look it up. Spent a lot of money on Mark McGuire's home run ball. Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, and let's hear the fans.
Yeah.
Top tens, or their number one.
Do we want to do a
agree,
rundown?
disagree?
And the casting. Okay, so the rundown is: Are we at number 10? We had Green Lantern. At number 2, we had Lobo.
9.
9.
What did I say?
2.
That's what I meant. 9.
9.
Sorry, I was fiddling with something. So at number 9, we have Lobo. 9. Number 9. Number 9. What do we have at number 8? Does anyone remember? I do. It was The Authority. At number
Thorta.
7, we have Kingdom Come. What happened?
I don't know.
That was weird, dude. It must have been echoing from the future. At number 6, we have X Factor, and and 6.5 we also have X Factor.
Yes.
At number 5, we have X-Men without Wolverine, please, the original X-Men team fighting the living monolith.
Sorry, Halle Berry. No
maybe
storm.
not. Maybe
Yeah.
not the living model.
Yeah, maybe not. At number 4, we have Runaways. Not a movie about Joan Jett, but the comic book.
I did when that got announced. When I saw it in the trailer.
You were like, you thought it was the comic book?
Yeah.
And then you saw it was Kristen Stewart.
Ah.
At number 3, we have the Fantastic Four with the ever-loving blue-eyed thing versus Galactus, who's not going to be a cosmic fart this time. And at the Pepto fart. At number 2, we have Mark Spector, Moon Knight. At number 1, we have, why God, why must I punish? The Punisher. Hopefully the Garth Ennis run. There it is,
so there's
everybody.
the
Give
list.
us your opinions.
Yeah, let us know who you think should play these people. If you think there are any other comics that
Sure,
you'd
there's
like
plenty.
to see.
Right.
Yeah.
This is just a list of 10.
Now, we had a little argument when we were putting together these lists because LTG wanted to include things that had been adapted from other media into comic
Dungeons
books.
and Dragons,
Yes.
Masters of the Universe.
The World of Warcraft movie.
How about the Dark Elf trilogy? Drizzt Do'Urden. Oh. Okay, guys, that's it.
But that's it. This was the Sidekick. And
It was.
You were listening to the Fanbased Network. I'm Justin Petrain Peterson.
I'm Nancy Jizzle.
I'm Justin Lane.
And we will see you guys next time.